Hey, it's Ethan. Welcome to another episode of Ethan Touching Grass. Today I'm at Lichen Glade Conservation Area in St. Clair County, Missouri, kind of on the edge of the Ozarks, right next to Dave Rock where I did a previous video. But we're on this channel sandstone, this like lake carboniferous sandstone deposit called the channel sandstone. And there's some cool plants out there. May or may not be blooming. It's kind of mid-March right now, so there might be some stuff popping up here and there. I've been seeing some stuff, just little guys. Kind of the season of the little flowers. So let's go check out, see what we can find here. Nice. Already we get to the glade part, and there's just little cool guys everywhere. We got a Bunchia macrorrhiza, the plains prickly pear. Over here, we got what I believe to be a draba of sorts. Maybe a Arabis, a Brachycarpa, maybe. Yeah, question it. But over here, I'll show you. Over here, the freaking star of the show. Actually, I was gonna say that's Selenia aurea. I do believe that's what it is. Yeah, Brassicaceae, very early bloomer. Look at the leaves there. Kind of looks like a nice caress. Some about to bloom here. All over this dang thing. Very early bloomer, a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but I guess that makes sense for something that blooms in mid-March. Again, season of the tiny flowers. But they're nice little guys. I like them. Even more tiny flowers I can show you here. We got Claytonia virginica, member of the family Montiaceae. It's got edible tubers. It's related to Femaranthus, which is out here in the summer, but you ain't gonna find it right now. And over here, we got some tiny bluettes. This is Houstonia pusilla in the coffee family Rubiaceae. Teeny tiny guys, absolutely puny. Check this little guy out. He's a freaking leafhopper. Slow as hell, because if it was any warmer, he'd be jumping right off of me. But it's one of the closest relatives to cicadas, and you can kind of see it. They're just little guys. Absolutely gorgeous wings. Ooh, more stuff. All right here, we got a Corydalis species. Either Crystallina or Micrantha. I'm not entirely sure which exactly. Both were observed in this spot, so not positive how to key them out. But in the Fumaroideae section of Papiveraceae in the poppy family. Very interesting flowers related to bleeding hearts and Dutchman's breeches. See, there's some foliage there. Beautiful little guys, though. You don't see a lot of Corydalis much. They're kind of small and diminutive, but they're nice little guys. I appreciate them. Got a really nice view over here. A nice creek, and the glade kind of goes on this way. All sorts of lichens and mosses growing on these rocks too. Kind of a seepy, because I mean it's pretty recently rained. Right here, got some more Selaginella rupestris. See this all over Dave Rock, but it's here too. Makes sense. Same sort of geologic exposure. But it's nice. It's lycopod, not a moss. So it's more related to ferns, as I explained in the last video. But yeah, it's all over here, kind of carpeting the floor with all sorts of little pin cushions and lichens and other kind of mosses and little wildflowers. What a spot! Yeah, between here and Dave Rock, some of the best quality sandstone glades I've ever seen. Is like before here, the only ones I know of around like Don Robinson, Hawn State Park. Which, I mean, those are nice, but not as open and exposed as this one. But I really do appreciate it. Nice seep action going on here. The silage. Got some Cladonia podocarpa. You know, it gets the name Lichen Glade because it's covered in lichens. Just got some Cladonia subtenuous over there. That's some sort of Rudbeckia. Not sure which one though. Some polytrichum kind of covering the wall here too. And spring beauties, Clatonia, starting to flower up there. Beautiful spot. Found an even nicer patch of golden selenia right here. This one is blooming a little more. Not fully bloomed, but I mean, I'm not really expecting much to be fully bloomed after it just frosted last night. But beautiful little guys, little Clatonia too. Nice limestone face right there, and a sandstone. What the hell? Some nice exposures though. Over here we got a Glade Specialist fern going on here. This is Myriopteris lanosa. The genus Myriopteris is kind of a drier land loving fern. As you can see, it's quite pubescent there on the upper spots, and the sorry, also pretty hairy. They're pretty hairy looking ferns. But I always see these on glades too, kind of growing under the cedar right here. Not actually cedar, it's Juniperus virginiana, but you know, everyone calls them cedars because, you know, common names be common names. But eastern red cedar kind of takes over glades and stuff. They can be a little unhealthy. In moderation, they're fine, but they can kind of choke out some glade areas and make them a little uninhabitable for some of the more sun-loving plants. But the Myriopteris seems to do fine. I'm not even sure if this is Myriopteris, but this is Myriopteris. More Selenia aurea appreciation right here. This one's actually fully bloomed, at least one of the flowers. Oh, there's something over there. We got to check it out. All right, Elle just found a even better patch of Selenia. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that one is. Fully bloomed. Looking beautiful. And then we also found some British soldier lichen. Cladonia, probably Christostella. Definitely genus Cladonia. They're a bunch that'll look red like this. It's like a species complex, but we'll just say they're Cladonia Christostella. Could be wrong, but you know, we'll find out. Looks like that could be western wallflower right there too. Nice, lovely spot though, full of that golden selenia. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I came here for. Fuck yeah. Not very big though. Not the biggest, but definitely the biggest flower I've seen out here today. Here we just found another Corydalis right here. Not sure which species. Kind of looks different than the one we saw earlier, with more golden selenia right next to it. I mean, you can tell which is which by the shape of the flowers, at least. It's gonna have more of a type of voracious flower like that. I assume the pollinators probably have to break their way in there, whereas the selenia is more of a four-petaled, kind of open guy with interesting kind of lanceolate foliage. And then we also got a freaking tiny bluette right there. Rubiaceae is the family on that. Man, the more I walk through this freaking glade, the more we see all of these freaking golden selenia everywhere, like all over the place. I think it's just getting warmer and now they're coming up and blooming, but seems to me like it's just freaking everywhere. I have to get some nice shots of these. Wow. At the riparian zone now. Look at this beautiful bastard. I'm not sure what he is, but we'll find out later. Hearing a lot of peepers, but I don't think he's a peeper. He doesn't have the X on his back. And we've seen some plants too. My aquatic botany is not the best, so I'm not going to try to figure out what they are, but some nice, like, creamy, green, red shits over there. Maybe a Ludwigia or something. They're nice little guys. Check out these, all these frickin' swift nests. Chimney swift, I believe, or maybe barn swallow, one of the two. I'm not great on birds, but you know, they make these weird nests made of regurgitated mud or whatever. They love to do it under bridges or in barns, but there's hundreds of them. Holy hell, and mud daubers too. I've seen a bunch of mud dauber nests up there too. Beautiful sight to behold. Definitely peeper season. Hear them all down there in that creek down there. Yes, spring is coming. All right, that's all I got for this video. Lichen Glade, beautiful spot. Next we're heading to a place called Bona Glade. Trying to go see some geocarpon, but stay tuned for the next episode for that. But otherwise, peace out, y'all.